So hello everyone and welcome to the MSME Money Recovery webinar with BMP Systems, where we are going to be covering top 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments at zero cost without going to court, fully on your own and against any company in India or world. Big or small company, all are covered, right? So are you having cash flow and bad debt problems and do you want to recover all your long-term, short-term unpaid dues on time? Do you want your customers to always pay you on time? Do you want to know what action needs to be taken to recover your dues, whether it's from a big corporate like Reliance or a PSU like BHAIL or big or small private player, anybody? Do you want to put strong measures in place to minimize non-payment or delayed payment by customers? So who all, please type yes in the chat box. Who all wants all of these or any of these? If you want all of these or any of these, then please type yes in the chat box. Thank you so much, Pulkit ji, Dr. Anjani Kumar Srivastav, yes, and one to all, Dipanvita ji, Rahul ji, thank you so much. All of this, yes. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So first of all, my sincere gratitude to you for being here on a beautiful Friday afternoon. There were so many things that you could have done, but the fact that you chose to be here speaks volumes towards your commitment, towards your business and towards the financial future of your family. And my promise to you in return is that this session will give you all the required knowledge by the end of which you'll be able to start recovering your dues at zero cost, fully on your own, without going to court and against any company in India or world, big or small, it doesn't matter. It's going to be one of the most knowledgeable sessions on the money recovery provision, which you would have attended off late. So please keep taking notes. You never know which point will become helpful for you. It's going to be a very interactive session. I'll keep asking questions and I request you to keep answering it just the way you've done it now by typing yes, because we're in an online session, right? We're not in the same room. So we cannot feel each other's energy. And the only way I can get the message that yes, whatever I'm explaining, you're getting it, and I can get that message is when you interact. And as per our scientific study, in an online session, the more you interact, the more you learn. So it's very important that we keep interacting so that we're in the rhythm, right? Plus, in return, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions, but just so that we don't break the flow of the webinar in between and other people don't get confused, we'll take up all your questions at the end of the webinar in a separate Q&A session, which is going to be towards the end of the webinar, so that we don't break the flow of the webinar. But you can ask me as many questions as you want, and if you're here, then it's my responsibility to answer all your questions and answer all of it. If required, I'll extend the session, but we'll take it all towards the end of the webinar. But you don't wait to ask your question till the end of the webinar. There is a Q&A box next to the chat box. If you'll see, next to chat box, there is a Q&A box. You can just type your question in the Q&A box. Don't type your question in the chat box, please, because if you type it there, it will get missed in the messages and I'll not be able to see it. But if you type in the Q&A box, I'll answer all the questions together at the end of the webinar. But you keep typing it as and when you get the questions, okay? And as I said, it's going to be one of the most knowledgeable sessions on the money recovery provisions. So please minimize all your distractions for the next 90 minutes at least, so that you're here fully, and you should attend here fully, so that you don't miss on any important things. Because as they say, half knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge, right? So let's be here fully for the next 90 minutes. If there's anything you think can come up, so please take care of it now. And we're going to be following English language, Hindi plus English language, because we have people joining from different parts of the country. So we'll ensure that we take all of them together. But there's anything which you think is not clear to you, so please feel free to type it in the Q&A box, and I'll explain you again in the Q&A session. So what are we going to cover today? So we are going to be covering the definition of MSME. What does MSME stands for? We are going to be covering the 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments other than civil criminal proceedings. How do they work? We'll also cover what you can see about you need to now recover your dues. What are those best practices which you can start to ensure timely recovery? And then we'll have the Q&A session. At the end, we'll also have some free money recovery resources for all everybody who's with us till the end, right? So, okay. So before we start, do I have your permission to share a little bit ourselves so that we have the connection going? Please type yes in the chat box if I have your permission to share a little bit ourselves. Thank you so much. Pulkit ji, Rahul ji, Rima ji, Dipandita ji, Sujata ji, Dipali ji, Bhagita ji. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed. So everyone, I'm Vinay Kumar Jain. I'm a solicitor and advocate of the Supreme Court of India. And I'm a qualified company secretary as well, and an author and coach, and I hold the distinction of being the youngest qualified solicitor of India. But before I came into this field, I come from a MSME family like you all. My father had a rice plant, was one of the top 3 rice plants of the city, and I had my own dreams and aspirations to grow up and join that business. But when I was in 11th, 12th, I started overhearing my parents and elders talking that the business was not doing so well, and one fine day that just got shut down. And what I understood from my parents talking is that it happened because my father and his partners, they were unable to recover a lot of their dues from their customers. At the same time, there are a lot of money to be paid to the vendors, etc., and all that, which led to the shutdown of the business. And when I cleared my 12th, so my father just told to me that there's nothing for you. Whatever you have to do, you have to do it on your own. And that's the day when I decided that I'm going to be something for the benefit of the MSMEs and help them solve their critical issues. And I made it my mission is in recovery. Then I went on and studied law, and then worked with the top law firms of country in the world, and then started our own practice, and we were one of the top companies in India in debt payments and in GST as well. And we have also authored this book. I've also authored this book, Top 3 Secrets to Easily Recover Your Money and Delayed Payments at Zero Cost. It's live on Amazon. We have also made this course, Money Recovery Course for all business owners. The one-line mission of this course is to help all the MSMEs get a world-class recovery system on automated basis, right? With all the knowledge. It comes at a price of 24,999, but we're not talking about it here. And we're also shortly coming up with AI-based money recovery tool, which is going to be acting as a virtual assistant for automatically following up on all your pending invoices. And using these systems and processes, we have helped more than 3,000 business owners in recovery of their delayed payments. In the past 12 months itself, we have handled more than 284 recovery cases for approximately 525 crores for 100 plus clients. Our clients are spread across 22 states in India, and we have helped clients across 27 different industries, ranging from logistics, construction, steel, manufacturing, government contractors, automobile, export, textiles, engineering, healthcare, power, oil, petroleum, pharmaceutical, mining, spice, education, and several other manufacturing service sector. You name it, it's there. Why I'm telling you all of this is that I want you to understand that the knowledge which you're going to be sharing with you today is applicable to each and every industry. So no matter in which industry you are, this knowledge will be applicable to you, and you don't have to think whether this will apply to me, my industry or not. It applies to every single industry. And we are processing claims of business dues and export dues from defaulting customers located across 24 states in India, and also in foreign countries. Okay, so that's a little about ourselves. So thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to share, and let's get started. So let's first see what is MSME's contribution to Indian economy. What is actually your contribution to Indian economy? So MSME sector contributes to 11 crore plus jobs in the country. It contributes to 29% of India's GDP. It contributes to 45% of total exports of the country, right? So all these factors, they make MSME sector one of the biggest contributing sector in India. But despite this, MSME sector has always been constantly facing the challenge of the delayed payments, right? So there was this survey which was done by ET Magazine in November 19, pre-COVID days, to find out the cause and effect and solution for this problem. And some very interesting facts came out in this. So what is that? So the first question was, who are your customer base? So it came out that almost 46% of MSME customers are private sector companies, 10% government, and 7% MNCs. Then how long do your customers take to make payments? So only it came out that 22% companies only said that within 60 days we receive it. Only 10% said that within 45 days we receive it. And whooping 44% MSMEs, they said that unpredictable. मतलब कि भगवान भरोसे, मतलब कि इनको पता ही नहीं कब आएगा, जब आ जाए तब बढ़ गया. Then how many MSMEs wait for more than 90 days for payment recovery? So almost 1/3 to half of the MSMEs, they have to wait for more than 3 months for recovery of their payments. Then letting it go. How much MSMEs write off as bad debts? कितना पैसा हर साल डूबत खाते में जा रहा है? So 60% companies, that means out of every 10 MSMEs, 6 MSMEs said that we are writing off to 5% of our annual turnover every year. Around 17% say that we write off to 20%. Now imagine this post-COVID very competitive world where 15 to 20% net profit margin is supposed to be a very good net profit margin. If any company is writing off 5 to 10% annual turnover, then what happens? So they don't feel the heat in 1 or 2 years. But the moment they do it for 2-3 years continuously, 3-4 years continuously, a lot of their capital gets wiped out. And they have the book profits, but they don't actually have the cash profits in hand. And that's why most of these companies, they shut down abruptly. And you think that, oh, it was doing so well, how can they shut down overnight? It doesn't happen overnight. It happens like this over a period of time, step by step. And that's why it's very important for you to ensure that you're able to maximize your recovery and minimize your bad debts. And that's why this session today. Plus, the last and the most important question, which customer segment gives you the toughest time to recover your dues? So it came out that of all the troublesome customers, 42% are from those big private sector companies, 24% are those large government PSUs, and 21% are those big multinational corporations. So 42 plus 24 plus 21, 86 to 87% defaulting customers are who? They're those big government PSUs, big government, big MNCs, large government departments, large private limited companies, which have deep pockets, who have a dominant position, and who misuse their dominant position to arm twist the MSMEs by either not paying them on time, or by issuing them credit note, debit note, by making short payment, or so on and so forth, or by keep delaying the payment, one or the other ways, but by not paying on time. And why they do this? Because they know that there's not much that MSMEs can do against them, because they know that MSMEs don't have knowledge, don't have the expertise, they don't have the resources, they don't have the wherewithal to take any action against them. And that's why they keep delaying it and they keep working on your money, right? So how many of you face this problem that most of your delayed payments is generally from your big customers? Please type yes in the chat box. Hello, Mafadlal ji. Thank you, Rahul ji, Anuradha ji, Shipra ji, Dipali ji, Atin ji, Shamlal ji, Bhagirath ji, Priyanshu ji. Fantastic. So it's not only you, but most of the MSMEs in the country, they face this problem, that most of their delayed payments, they are from those big customers. But having said that, we are drawing a line today. All of this stops here. Going forward, you're not going to be facing this problem anymore, whether from your big or small customers. Let's get started. So let's first see what's the definition of MSME and what does MSME stands for. So MSME, as we all know, stands for micro, small, medium enterprises. The definition is given under the MSMED Act 2006, which stands for Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Development 2006. So it's a very powerful and a very important act which has been framed by Parliament for the benefit of MSMEs, and it has some very strong measures and protections in place for the delayed payment recovery. In fact, there's a dedicated chapter in that act, and we'll see that. The definition of MSME is also given there in the act. So there was this old definition which was continuing from 2006 to 2020, and this new definition which has come to from July 2020. So we'll first see the old definition, and we'll see the new definition. We'll also see the reason for change of this definition. So the old definition was that the only criteria was that what is the investment in plant and machinery to find out whether you're MSME or not. And there were two distinct categories of manufacturing and service enterprises. Okay. So if you're into manufacturing sector and if investment is less than was 25 lakhs, then you're a micro enterprise. If your investment was within 5 crores, then you're a small enterprise. If your investment was within 10 crores, then you're a medium enterprise. Similarly, if you're in service sector and your investment was less than 10 lakhs, then you're a micro enterprise. If it was within 2 crores, then a small enterprise. If it was within 5 crores, then you're a medium enterprise. Now, this definition was going on since 2006, and it was long pending demand of the industry that please change this definition because a lot of water has flown down since 2006. Today, service sector contributes equal, rather more to the GDP of the country, and the authorities were also saying that please change definition, we don't have the right data. But as usual, the government was not listening to it. But then came COVID, and we all know that our Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman came out with a package of 25,000 crores for the benefit of MSMEs. And when that happened, the government faced a problem that how do they ensure that the money flows down to the right beneficiaries? And then they realized the need and importance to change the definition. So they brought a new definition in July 2020. And in this new definition, a composite criteria was introduced for definition of MSMEs. In addition to investment, annual turnover was also introduced. Okay. So, and the difference between the manufacturing and service sector was taken away. So if your investment is less than 1 crore, then your turnover is within 5 crores, then you're a micro enterprise. So remember, it's investment and an annual turnover. So if I say or, it's going to be Hindi wala, because both the condition is to be satisfied, right? So if your investment is less than 1 crore and turnover is within 5 crores, then you're a manufacturing enterprise. You're a micro enterprise. If your investment is less than 10 crores and turnover is less than 50 crores, then you're a small enterprise. And if your investment is less than 50 crores and turnover less than 250 crores, then you're a medium enterprise. Now, what has happened with this one change of definition? Government of India has brought 99% of companies of India in MSME net. And out of that 99% company, 98% companies are either micro and small enterprise. That means they have their investments less than 10 crores and their turnovers less than 50 crores, right? That's why there has never been a better time in the history of independent India for each and every one of you to understand and implement these provisions which the government has made so that you can maximize your recovery, right? So let's see who all have got this definition right. So please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium. Please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium. So micro, 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 medium, micro, micro, small, 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 micro, small, micro, 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 small, micro, small, small, micro, micro, small, medium, micro, small, small. So most of the answers, fantastic. Thank you so much. So most of the answers we see, they're micro, and only we have got, I think, 2 or 3 answers in medium out of like 40, 50 answers. So that's the percentage across the country. And that's why the need and importance to understand all these provisions, right? So let's get started. We've seen the definition. Now we'll cover the top 3 secrets to recover the delayed payments at zero cost against any company in India or world without going to court and fully on your own. So the first method is the provisions of the MSMED Act 2006. These are very, very important provisions. As I said, there's a dedicated chapter in the MSMED Act, which has all these provisions from section 15 to 24. So we'll see each of these sections individually, right? And the first secret method, ये जो है, इसके provisions जो है, they're applicable for micro and small enterprises only. They, as of today, they're not applicable for medium enterprises. But if you're a medium enterprise, you may want to know it still. Especially if you're doing business with the micro and small enterprises for that reason, and you don't know tomorrow the government can make it applicable for you also for your benefit, and also for the reason that previously if you're micro or small, then you can use these provisions for your past use, right? So we'll first see section 15. So section 15 says that if you're a micro and small enterprise, then it is a liability of your buyer to make payment to you within 45 days. It's in the act itself. So irrespective of the provisions of your contract, whether your contract says 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, it doesn't matter. No matter who's the buyer. If you're a registered micro small enterprise, then they have to make the payment to you within 45 days. Okay. So let me take you to the Bear Act provision to help you understand this properly. So this is the Bear Act, because there is no better way than to clarify your concepts other than reading the Bear Act. And if you're here today, then it's my duty that I clarify all your concepts. So we said section 15. So let's go to section 15. So this is section 15. As I said, this is the whole dedicated chapter, delayed payments to micro small enterprises. This is section 15. The heading is liability of buyer to make payments. Let's read this together. So where any supplier supplies any goods or renders any services to any buyer, the buyer shall make payment therefore on or before the date agreed upon between him and the supplier in writing, or where there is no agreement in this behalf before the appointed day, provided that in no case the period agreed between the supplier and the buyer in writing shall exceed 45 days from the day of acceptance or the day of deemed acceptance. So 45 days से ऊपर तो कोई period हो ही नहीं सकता. Now, what is this, the day of deemed acceptance? So let's go back to a presentation. So deemed day of acceptance has been defined in section 2B, which says that if no objection has been raised by buyer within 15 days of receipt of goods or services, then it's a deemed acceptance. Okay, so how does it help, Vinay? So how do I explain you? So let me ask you a question to help you understand this better. So how many of you face this problem that after you have supplied goods and services, and whenever you go asking for payment from your customers, only then after 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever time, only then your customer wakes up and he takes one of these other false excuses that, oh, abhi to goods pure nahi aaye, abhi to supply puri nahi hui hai, abhi to ye defect hai, wo defect hai, ye problem hai, wo problem hai, and they keep delaying your payment. Please type yes in the chat box if you face this sort of problem generally. Yeah, sure, Mananji. I'll try and use more of Hindi if that's okay with everybody. Oh my God, there's so many people. बहुत सारे लोगों को problem है. So let's again, इतने सारे लोगों को problem है. So let me again take you back to the Bear Act, because आप यहाँ हैं तो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी कि मैं आपके concepts को clear करूँ. So ये है Bear Act, and let's go to section 2B and see the definition of deemed acceptance. So that's section 2B, second explanation, the day of deemed acceptance. Let's read this together. The day of deemed acceptance means where there is no objection is made in writing. So an objection has to be in writing, right? Phone पे नहीं चलेगा, email, WhatsApp चल जाएगा. Where no objection is made in writing by the buyer regarding acceptance of goods or services within 15 days, and ऑब्जेक्शन देना है तो राइटिंग में देना है, 15 डेज में देना है, राइट, फ्रॉम द डे ऑफ डिलीवरी ऑफ गुड्स और रेंडरिंग ऑफ सर्विसेज, द डे ऑफ एक्चुअल डिलीवरी ऑफ गुड्स और द रेंडरिंग ऑफ सर्विसेज. दैट मींस अगर आपके बायर ने 15 डेज के अंदर आपको राइटिंग में कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं दिया, तो उसके बाद वो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस है, उसके बाद ही कैन नॉट टेक एनी फर्दर ऑब्जेक्शन कि ये प्रॉब्लम थी, वो प्रॉब्लम थी, ऐसा था, वैसा था, कुछ नहीं. सो व्हेनेवर यू गो नेक्स्ट टाइम आस्किंग फॉर द पेमेंट टू योर कस्टमर एंड ही टेक्स वन ऑफ द अदर फॉल्स एक्सक्यूज, तो बीइंग अ गुड सप्लायर यू कैन रिमूव दिस टाइम, बट यू कैन टेल हिम दैट लुक, I am a registered micro small enterprise supplier. मैं registered micro small enterprises हूँ, और as per the law passed by Parliament of India, अगर if you have an objection, so please do raise it, but raise it in writing and give it to me within 15 days, right? But if you don't do it within 15 days, then it's going to be deemed acceptance, because that's what the Parliament has spoken. And this is irrespective of what is given in your contract. It doesn't matter कि आपकी contract में क्या है, it doesn't matter the opposite party कौन है, right? Because the provisions of law, they supersede all the provisions of the contract between any two private parties, right? So next time what will happen, whenever you go asking for the payment, so your customer will know that if he was supposed to take an objection, it should have been within 15 days. And if he takes it, I'm sure he'll remove it, and then he'll not have any further objection. But if he doesn't take any objection, then he'll not have any reason to delay your payment. और जो आपका payment cycle अभी 120, 90, 60 days है, it will improve to 60, 45, 30 days. And once your working capital cycle improves, your turnover will automatically rise. And once your turnover rises, your profit will automatically increase. So even if you don't take anything from this webinar today, of course, we have very many important things coming up, but just take this one single thing and implement it, then it's going to be extremely beneficial for you, right? And you can increase your profits multifold, because then you'll have the ability to take on new business together. Then we have section 16, which says that if your buyer is not paid within 45 days, then he'll have to make the payment to you along with interest, that is compound interest, at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate notified by RBI. Now, this again, irrespective of what is there in your contract, whether you have the contract as interest or it doesn't matter. And what is bank rate? Bank rate is the rate at which RBI lends to the other banks, which is only 4.5% to 6%, and 3 times from the 15 to 18%. And this rate keeps changing every 2-3 months. So this is the rate at which they have to compulsorily pay the interest to you along with the principal amount. If there is a delay beyond 45 days. Then section 18, which says that 45 days payment nahi diya, compound interest bhi nahi diya, to fir kya? So the government said it's very difficult for the micro and small enterprises to go to the civil courts and get it all solved, because it takes a lot of time and money and court fees and all that. So rather we are making a dedicated body, MSME Council, MSCFC, Micro Small Enterprise Facilitation Council, and in every state, which is going to be acting as the body where all the micro small enterprises, they can go and file their applications for conciliation arbitration, and only they'll have the authority to pass the order. And this is again irrespective of what is given in your contract, whether your contract has बॉम्बे कोर्ट का जुरिडिक्शन और दिल्ली कोर्ट का जुरिडिक्शन की कोई आर्बिट्रेटर होगा, कोई एक्स एमडी आपकी बाइक का आर्बिट्रेटर होगा, इट डजंट मैटर who's the opposite party, it doesn't matter. Once you approach the MSME council, all those jurisdictional clauses of your contract, they are null and void. Only this will prevail, irrespective कि आपके contract में क्या लिखा हुआ है. And the order passed by MSME council is equivalent to civil court decree. Just if it is not complied, then you can have it enforced through the civil court through an execution application, just like you enforce your civil court decree, and that makes you a secured creditor, right? And MSME council is not a full-time body; it's a part-time body. The director of industries is generally the chairman, and the other government officials, and they are functioning. The good news is they're functioning today in every state of the country, so that's the good thing. Then section 19, which says that suppose if there is an order passed in your favor by the MSME council, and if your buyer has to file appeal against it, then he'll have to deposit 75% mandatorily of the ordered amount, and only then he can file the appeal with civil court. So let me give you an example to help you understand this better. Suppose you have to recover on 1 crore, because this one section entails majority of the settlements in this, right? So suppose you have to recover 1 crore from one of your buyer and he was not paying for 1 year. So you approach the MSME council and they passed the order in your favor, and you got 1 crore, plus they also wanted interest in your favor of 25 lakhs. So total ordered amount is 1.25 lakhs. Now, if your buyer has to pass an appeal against this order, he'll have to compulsory deposit 75% of 1.25 crores with the civil court. And then the case, we know, they go on for 5, 7, 10 years. And if he loses in that time, then he'll again have to pay interest for that particular period, which these big corporates and PSUs, they very well. And that's why they come running to MSME, especially after the order is passed. Boss, ye principal low, interest ko waive karo and let's do business together. And most of the settlements happen. So if I put you in this particular example, MSME shoes, suppose you are offered 1 crore by your buyer once you've got this order, and say, bhai, ye interest ko chhod de, ye 1 crore, 1 crore pakad, and let's do business together. Will you settle or not? Please type your answer in the chat box. Yes or yes. Yes, right? So no brainer, of course. Rahulji, I'll request you to please post your questions in the Q&A box so that I don't miss it. Nahi to abhi wo upar chala gaya, I'll miss it. Please post in the Q&A box. Thank you so much. So that's the right thing to do in our opinion also, because MSME का काम क्या है? एक business owner का काम क्या है? To do business, right? Not to keep fighting with the clients. और पहले क्या था? पहले तो वो भी नहीं था, पर अभी ये तो है. So that's the good part about it, right? Then we have next section, section 22, which says that अगर कोई buyer है and he has bought anything from micro or small enterprises, any goods or services, and if they're not paid to any micro small enterprise within 45 days, then they have to compulsorily declare those dues in their audit accounts. And to enforce this, two notifications dated 2nd November 18 and 22nd January 19 has also been issued in this regard by the MSME Ministry and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So how does it help you? So let me ask you a question to help you understand this. How many of you have delayed payments older than 3 years and you have lost complete hope on how to recover? Please type 3 in the chat box, 3-digit in the chat box. If you have payments due, delayed payments beyond 3 years, and okay. So many people. Okay, got it. Thank you. So let me again take you back to the Bear Act provisions, because इतने लोगों को ये challenge है तो जरूरी कि मैं आपको Bear Act दिखाऊं. So this is that notification. English पे आ जाते हैं. MSME Ministry का notification. Dated 2nd November 18. Let's read this together. In exercise of powers conferred by Section 9 of the MSME Act, the central government directs all companies who get supplies of goods or services from micro and small enterprise and whose payment to micro and small enterprise supplies exceed 45 days from the date of acceptance and date of deemed acceptance of the goods or services as per the provisions of the Act shall submit a half-yearly return to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs stating the following: the amount of payment due and the reasons for delay. Okay. Then we have this MCA का notification, Ministry of Corporate Affairs का. हिंदी को छोड़ देते हैं, इंग्लिश पे आ जाते हैं. Okay. Let's read this together. The date is 22nd January 19. And again, the same thing. Anybody who has taken goods or services and from micro small enterprise and not paid them in 45 days, they should submit a half-yearly return stating the amount of payment due and the reasons for delay. The good thing they have done here is that they've given the format of the form. Okay, this is MSME Form 1, which has to be filled, in which after the basic details, they have to, while they're filing the initial return, the first return, so they have to declare the total outstanding amount as on the date of notification of this order whenever they're filing it for the first time. And what's the date of this order? It was 22nd January 19. Okay. So till that day, all the dues has to be showed here, whether it's of 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, whatever it is, right? All of this has to be showed here. Then they ask for further details like, अच्छा, किस financial year के हैं, कौन सप्लायर है, क्या पैन है, कितना अमाउंट ड्यू था, किस डेट से ड्यू था. एंड आफ्टर दैट इट्स द रेगुलर रिटर्न ऑन 6-month basis which they have to show with the same details again, कि किस फाइनेंशियल ईयर का, कौन सप्लायर है, क्या पैन था, कितना अमाउंट ड्यू, एंड ऑल दिस एंड ऑल दैट. एंड द सेम थिंग फॉर October to March, they have to keep showing it. Then they also have to give reasons, what are the reasons for the delay in the payment of amount due. And then the best part, that they've given a note here, which is the most important thing, which says that attention is drawn to the provision of subsection 4 of section 405 Companies Act, which provide for punishment for any information statistics which is incorrect or incomplete in any material respect. मतलब कि गवर्नमेंट ने अगर किसी कंपनी ने ये फॉर्म नहीं भरा, इनकम्प्लीट भरा, इनकरेक्ट भरा, तो उसको क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस बना दिया. The person in charge may be liable for punishment of 2 to 3 months, and the company in charge may be liable to fine. That's the extent to which the government has gone for the benefit and help of the MSMEs. So far so good. पैसे कैसे आएंगे? So recently Honorable Supreme Court का एक जजमेंट है जस्टिस नरिमन साहब के नेशनल कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि अगर कोई कंपनी, if they have not paid to anybody and they are declaring those dues in their accounts or in any of the statutory forms, then the limitation period of 3 years against them starts again afresh whenever they're showing it in the audit accounts and any other forms. And as per the law, they have to show it every year till the time they have not paid it. So every time they show in their accounts or in the MSME Form 1, the limitation of 3 years starts again and again. So everybody, all of you who said that we have dues older than 3 years, we lost complete hope. All that you have to do is that go back, check the audit accounts of your buyer or the MSME Form 1. If you find it, then you can start the proceedings within 3 years again after a declaration. If they don't have it, they have not given it, then you can file a complaint against them and the auditors that they're not showing this. And that way you'll have the process by which you can start the recovery. So everybody who all said that, yes, we have lost complete hope of recovery and all that, do you now see a ray of hope? Please type H for hope in the chat box if you now see a ray of hope to start the recovery. Thank you so much. Anuradha ji, I request, and Sujata ji, please type your question in the Q&A box because I'll miss it in this chat. So please type in the Q&A box and I'll answer it. Thank you so much, everyone. Then we have next section, section 23, which says that, now this is like chota bam bada dhamaka, let me tell you, which says that, suppose, let's go back to the example, okay, कि जो हमने 1 crore 25 lakhs का लिया था, 1 crore principal and 25 lakhs का ऑर्डर हो गया आपकी फेवर में, और 1 मिनट के लिए अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि आपको 1 crore 25 लाख मिल गए, 1 crore प्रिंसिपल भी मिल गया और 25 लाख आपका आपके बायर ने इंटरेस्ट भी दे दिया, राइट? सिर्फ अज्यूम कर लेते हैं, मुझे ये मत बोलेगा कल को विनय जी ने बोला था मिल गया तो मिलना ही चाहिए हमको, तो आई एम जस्ट सेइंग अज्यूम कर लेते हैं। तो ये जो 25 lakhs आपको मिला है इंटरेस्ट का, सो गवर्नमेंट ने ये बोला कि नाउ दिस शुड एक्ट लाइक अ पीनल इंटरेस्ट फॉर द बायर, and we will not allow him the income tax exemption on this 25 lakhs because it's like a penal interest, जो भी इंटरेस्ट ने दिया है, he'll not be able to claim the income tax deduction, और उसको जो इनकम टैक्स की सेविंग होती है वो पूरी उसको लगेगी। तो 25 lakhs पे अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30% का रेट मान ले तो 8-9 लाख रुपए उसके बच जाते हैं इनकम टैक्स, तो वो नहीं होगा, he'll have to pay all those 8-9 lakhs, which is a very huge deterrent, especially for the big corporates and PSUs, because जब भी कोई इनकम टैक्स एग्जेम्पशन की बात आती है, वहां पर भी प्रॉब्लम हो, the matter goes to top management and people can lose their jobs, believe me, and that's why they take this very very serious। तो इसलिए जब ऑर्डर आते हैं तो भाग के आते हैं, बोलते हैं भैया पैसा ले, क्लोज कर, इंटरेस्ट को छोड़, एंड लेट्स डू बिजनेस टुगेदर, राइट? And especially when the amount runs in crores of rupees, which I'll show you, of the interest itself, right? And the last section, section 24, it says that all of these provisions have an overriding effect. No matter what is given in your contract, they have an overriding effect. So let's do a quick recap. Okay, so liability of the buyer to make payment means 45 days means 45 days. Deemed day of acceptance 15 days में नहीं किया राइटिंग में तो फिर deemed day of acceptance. कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट लगेगा, मतलब लगेगा भले कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में होना हो। सेक्शन 18 एमएसएमई काउंसिल के पास गए तो नहीं दे हैव जुडिशियल, नो मैटर अभी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या है, अपील के लिए 75% करना पड़ेगा, डिपॉजिट में करना पड़ेगा। देन ऑडिट अकाउंट्स में दिखाना पड़ेगा, मतलब दिखाना पड़ेगा, if payment is not made, इंटरेस्ट का एग्जेम्पशन नहीं मिलेगा, मतलब नहीं मिलेगा, राइट? सो ऑल ऑफ दिस प्रोविजंस हैव एन ओवरराइडिंग इफेक्ट whether you have contract has this or not. So what you need to do, go back, take out all your contracts. If they have it, good. If they don't have it, no problem. Still you can enforce. But going forward, you put all of these provisions in your contract and the invoices so that you're able to make the most of it, and you're able to get that benefit. Because if you show all of these provisions, so your buyer will know that, okay, these people know what is the law. So let's not take panga with them. Okay. So are you finding these provisions to be useful? Of the first secret method, please type you in the chat box if you're finding these provisions to be useful. Thank you so much, everyone. Now my next question is, but were you knowing about these provisions? क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Yes or no? Definitely very useful, Ajit ji. So no. No. Yes, some of them, few of them, no. So can you see this? The problem is not कि delayed payment है. The problem is कि awareness नहीं थी किसी ने आपको आज तक. There is lack of awareness. Nobody has told you that these are the provisions by which you can start your recovery proceedings, right? और अगर पता भी थी तो ये नहीं पता कि implement कैसे करना है. So I'm telling you, showing you a few case studies here, where all of these provisions, they have been challenged time and again by different by big PSUs in government and corporates before different honorable high courts and Supreme Court on the grounds that they're absolutely illegal, unconstitutional, unequal, invalid because they're fully in favor of the MSMEs. Like Section 18 चैलेंज किया कि क्यों हम MSME काउंसिल के पास जाए, हमारे पास तो आर्बिट्रेशन का प्रोविजन है। सेक्शन 19 चैलेंज किया अपील के लिए, क्यों हम इंटरेस्ट हमें 70% डिपॉजिट करें, क्यों MSME को डिपॉजिट नहीं करना पड़ेगा, इंटरेस्ट के चैलेंज किया, क्यों कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट देंगे, हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में तो 6% सिंपल इंटरेस्ट की बात है, व्हाई वी शुड गिव 14 to 15% कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट। सो ऑल ऑफ these provisions have been challenged time and again, and the good thing is that every time they have been challenged, every single time honorable high courts and Supreme Court, they have upheld the validity of these provisions, and they have said that these provisions are absolutely legal, valid, equal, and constitutional. Why? Because these provisions have been incorporated in a very, very special act, which is MSMED Act, which has been made for a very special class of entity, that is MSME. Because MSMEs cannot survive without doing business with big companies like you. You big companies cannot run their show without doing business with MSMEs. If you pay them on time, very good. But if you don't pay them on time, how they will survive? If you have to pay them on time and do business, keep paying. Why are you worrying? Right? So all that I'm trying to tell you is that it's not, I'm not telling you something which has come overnight. These provisions have been here and they have withstood the scrutiny of the highest courts of the land. And thousands and lakhs of MSMEs are getting benefited by it, right? You just have to know and implement it. So I'll do a quick sharing of one of our existing MSME client, Mr. Rajan Kimsaria ji. He's an MSME from Mumbai. How these provisions came to be useful, how we help them using these provisions and recovery of their dues, so that you can understand if it works for others, it will work for you also. Mr. Rajan Kimsaria ji.
Hello, I am Rajendra Kimsaria, Founder Director at Kimsaria Associates Private Limited, Mumbai. We are into sales and marketing of pharmaceutical and packaging machinery. We were having a problem of recovery of a large amount of money from one of our principals from whose machines we sell to the pharmaceutical industry. And we came to know about Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain through one of the webinar. We were very impressed with his concept of recovery of money without going to the court in a shortest time with very little investment. We approached him, and then the process was seamless. It was on online, and we exchanged mails. We had Zoom meetings, and they thoroughly understood our case. They drafted the notice for our principals, and the notice was sent. And within 10 days, we got our money, which was about 2 years old, immediately. And then there were other outstanding amounts which were as old as 1 year to three months. We were called for settlement from our principals, and we were able to recover our. We were able to achieve reach a settlement amount, and everything was settled in less than 3 months' time. We very much thankful to Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain for his assistance. Thank you.
So dues older than 3 months to 1 year, they will recover most of them in less than 3 years' time, right? That's the power of knowledge, and that's the power of implementation of the right knowledge in the right manner. So I'm getting a few messages that how we can help you in recovery of your dues. So if you need our assistance in recovery of your dues, so here is this 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. You can just fill this 2 minutes inquiry form, and our team will reach out to you, and they'll tell you what's the process and how we can help you in recovery of your dues. Okay. So I request my team to please paste the 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box, and then I will be happy to speak together on basis. Okay, so we have covered the first method, which is the MSMED Act 2006 ke provisions. Now we'll cover the second secret method, which is MSME Samadhan. I request Nikita, my team, to please paste the 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. Am I audible? Nikita, can you hear me? Yes, thank you so much. Here's this 2 minutes inquiry form. Anoopji, you just fill up this form and our team will get in touch with you and they'll inform you about the whole process. They'll let you know how we can proceed forward. Fantastic. So we've covered the first secret method, which is the MSMEs Act ke provisions. Now we'll move to the second secret method, which is MSME Samadhan. It's a delayed payment monitoring system, which has been introduced by our current Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji under the aegis of the MSME Ministry. And what it is exactly? So it is actually a portal. MSME Samadhan is a portal created by the MSME Ministry, where all the micro and small enterprises, again, micro and small enterprises ke liye hai. Still, it's not made applicable for medium enterprise, but as I said, for the first method, you can never know. Tomorrow they can bring it for you as well. If previously you were micro and small for your oldies, you may use it for them as well. But it's important. And also that what the other party can do against you is also very important for you to know. Okay. So it's a portal created by the MSME Ministry where all the micro and small enterprises, no matter in which part of the country you are, you can go and file your application online regarding delayed payment beyond 45 days. And no matter in which part of the country your buyer is, it doesn't matter. Okay. And what are the requirements for it? All that you need is your Udyog Aadhaar memorandum, which is now updates Udyam. You need mobile number, Aadhaar number of your partner, director, proprietor, aapka, you always have it. You need buyer details, which you have it. You need work order, which you have it. If you don't have, you can give an affidavit. And you need copies of undisputed invoices. What do you mean by undisputed invoices? कोई case, civil case pending now, ki supply hui ki nahi, which is really not the case, right? So if you have all of these, then all that you have to do is that you have to go to this MSME Samadhan ki website, and it's as easy as uploading a Facebook post if you have all of these details. And once you do it, a notice will be sent to the buyer within 15 days itself from the MSME Ministry that so-and-so company has filed so-and-so case against you for recovery of so-and-so amount. So why you have not paid it? So please pay it within so-and-so days, else will take so-and-so action against you. Okay. Most of the times you get money by that, right? And a status is also sent to your state MSME council, with whom then you have to go and do the physical filing as per their respective rules. Physical filing is very simple. You just have to take, they have 1-2 pager format. So you just take it, fill it, and take out a printout of all the documents which you have filled it and submit it, okay, with them. And as per the law, they have to resolve that within 90 days. But it's on paper only. It's not happening in 90 days, let me tell you very frankly, especially post-COVID when they've been burdened with thousands of cases. So it's only taking like 6 months, 1 year. So we say that you take 1 year, you take 1.5 years, you take 2 years also. That's also fine with us. Why? Because what is the alternative remedy for you? Going to civil courts. That will take 5-10 years. Generations will pass. Here, I know that it will take 1.5 or 2 years at least at best, right? And especially because I know that whenever the money will be given, it will be with compound interest at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate notified by RBI till the date of payment. Not a penny more, not a penny less. They don't even have the authority to reduce it. Whereas the civil courts and arbitration, they'll either not give the interest, or even if they give, it's going to be 4-5% simple interest, and that too also from the date of order to date of payment, or from date of petition to date of order, and things like that. Here it is invoice plus 45 days to till date of payment. Nothing doing, right? Then I know that whenever an order is passed by MSME council, it is in my favor. Appeal has to be made by the other party. He has to deposit 75% of the amount with the civil court. Else he cannot. And if he loses, he'll again have to deposit further interest on it. And that's where a lot of settlement happens. Whereas if in a civil court or arbitration pass an order, there's no requirement for the deposit. The other party just files an appeal and keeps dragging it in the higher courts for years and years. 10-15 saal nikal jate hain, right? That's what makes MSME so powerful. And the minimum filing fees, what's the filing fees? So online filing is absolutely free all over the country, no charges. Physical filing is also free in most of the states. For some of the states, they have charges of 500,000 rupees irrespective of the claim amount. So if your claim amount is 10 lakhs, then also 500,000. If it is 1 crore, then also 500,000 rupees. If it is 10 crores, then also 500,000 rupees, whatever it is. Whereas if you go to civil court arbitration, they'll charge a court fees, which is 3 to 4% of the claim amount. So if it is 10 lakhs, then 30-40,000. If it is 1 crore, then 3-4 lakhs. If it is 10 crores, then 30-40 lakhs. And that's like throwing good money after bad money. You win, lose, it doesn't matter. That money is gone. Okay. So can you see that you can start the recovery proceeding on your own? Online is not a problem. At zero cost, 500,000 rupees is no problem, without going to civil court and against any company in India or world. So do you think I've fulfilled the promise I made to you at the start of the webinar, that you will learn all those top 3 methods by which you will be able to start your recovery proceedings at zero cost without going to court, fully on your own against any company in India or world? Please type PF for promise fulfilled if you think I've fulfilled the promise. PF for promise fulfilled if you think I've fulfilled the promise that you will be able to start your recovery proceedings at zero cost. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And of course, we have some more ground to cover. Then the best thing, another best thing about this and MSME Samadhan is that because it's been introduced by current Honorable Prime Minister, so he has been a dedicated team set in PM who's only keeping track of these applications on MSME Samadhan. And whenever any application comes along in central PSU, immediately a show cause notice is sent to the MD with a copy to Cabinet Secretary that why you have not made to so and so MSME on time. And that's why standing instructions have been given in most of the central PSUs that if any case comes under MSME Samadhan, and if it is not disputed but only delayed for some reason, you can just pay and settle and close. Why? Do you think any MD would want to be answerable to the PMO's office? No, right? That's the power of MSME Samadhan. Then, if you've recovered your principal with a lot of delay, you can file for interest as well. And prior registration is not necessary. Honorable Supreme Court has said that previously, if you're registered with some old IEM Part 1, Part 2, or some other scheme as MSME, then that will be applicable if you don't have today's UDYAM before your invoice. But if you don't have all those old registration, then you have to have compulsory UDYAM before the date of your invoice and contract. Okay. Then, as per the MSME website, FAQ 47, your award is also pending on foreign buy. So if you're an exporter, you can again use it. Then another beautiful thing, no time barring. So Limitation Act doesn't apply as far as the filing is concerned with MSME Samadhan. So even if your case is older 4 years, 5 years, you can still go ahead and file online. As per the Supreme Court, first three hearings are always conciliation hearings, and a lot of settlement happens during that time only. If it doesn't happen, then it goes to arbitration. Only then the Limitation Act applies. But as civil, criminal, or civil courts and arbitration, you cannot even file it after 3 years. So I'll show you a few case studies. We don't have to do anything with these case studies. They're all available online, these orders. I'm just showing you how it works, the practicality of it. So there was two private companies who had a dispute of 12.5 lakhs. MSME Samadhan case was filed. And when the order came, so not only that they got 12.5 lakhs, but they got interest of 2.5 lakhs. So मांगने गए थे 12.5 लाख मिल गए 35 lakh including interest. Then there was this case against a big listed company which has defaulted on payment of 9-10 crores rupees to one of their vendors, and the vendor was not knowing anything what to do because the total charge for recovery was around 1 crore, which was told to him, including court fees and all that. So he was all lost. When he got to know what MSME Samadhan, he filed the case in MSME Samadhan. And this big company tried every trick in the book. The chairman should change, the case should be dismissed and all that, but nothing happened. Ultimately, he got an order in his favor and the matter got settled. He was able to recover his 9 crores without spending that 1 crore amount and all that. Then there was this case against a state government PSU, which is issued a tender of 21 crores. and 1 crore 80 lakhs payment was pending with the contractor. A case was filed under MSME Samadhan. So the contractor not only got the 1 crore 80 lakhs, but he also got an interest of 3 crore 60 lakhs. So imagine. मांगने गए थे 1 crore 80 lakh, मिल गया total 5 crore 40 lakh, 5 crore 40 lakhs including interest, right? So what are the options available with this state government PSU? So 3 options. Number 1, and they just pay this 5 crore 40 lakhs and close it, right? But do you think that's an option? No. Why? Do you remember I told you that interest payment pay exemption they will get income tax? So if they pay this 5 crore 40 lakhs, they lose another 30% of this 3 crore 60 lakhs in income tax exemption. So that's under 1 crore 20 lakhs. So 540 plus 126, 60. So no way, heads will roll, people will lose their job. So not an option. Number 2, they file an appeal against this order and keep fighting it. So again, not an option. Why? For this, they'll have to pay 4 crore 75% of 5 crore 40 lakhs to the civil court, and they keep fighting. They lose it, they're going to have to pay interest for that period. So again, not an option. Third, they just pay this 1 crore 80 lakhs to the contractor and say, boss, settle karo, close karo, let's do business together. And something like this happened in this case also. The state government was supposed to, PSU was supposed to bring down SMEs, and they paid them out. That's the power of MSME Samadhan, right? So are you finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful? Please type P in the chat box if you're finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful. Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, my old question. But were you knowing about this before? Please type yes or no. क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Few yeses, most of the answers no. So again, can you see the problem is not key delay payments? The problem is this lack of awareness. Like you didn't knew about MSME Act, nobody has told you about MSME Samadhan also. And even if you know, you don't know how to rightly implement it, right? Like people think it's only online filing. No, it's not only online filing, it's offline filing as well. A lot of patience and follow-up is required to wait for 1.5 or 2 years, but still much better than civil courts, right? Despite all of this, the success rate of MSME Samadhan is very, very high and encouraging. So I'll show you a few facts and figures from the government data. So till date, despite most of the MSMEs don't know about it, more than 93,000 applications have been filed for recovery of the dues of rupees 25,000 crores. 25,000 crore की recovery के लिए cases file हो गए हैं, सोचिए. And out of these 90,000 applications, around 25,000 cases are under consideration by council. इस पे hearing चल रही है. 31,000 cases are yet to be viewed by the council. They've not even touched it. So 25 plus 31 is how much? 56,000, right? जो pending है. So 93 minus 56,000 is how much? Please excuse me for my maths because I failed in 7th standard. Somehow got promoted in 9th. In 11th, I failed every internal exam, and in annual exam paper, I got managed few important questions and passed. In 12th, I was blank for the first 45 minutes of my board exam paper. So please excuse me for math. So 93 minus 56, how much? So 36,000 applications are such which have been filed and something has happened, right? So what has happened to them? Out of 36,000 applications, 18,000 they got rejected by the council. Rejections means technical grounds for rejection हो गया. Improper filing, सिर्फ online की offline नहीं किया, invoice नहीं किया, ये वो hearing पे आया ही नहीं. So बच्चे कितने? 18,000. Out of those remaining 18,000, 9,000 have been disposed of by the council. That means yes, no, win, lose, something has happened. What has happened? We don't know. How many left? 9,000. Those 9,000 applications, they have been mutually settled between the parties. That means what? What's my settlement ratio? It's more than 50%. If I know it is when I'm doing it right. I am not aware about any other forum or provision in the country which has a settlement ratio more than 50%. And that's the power of MSME Samadhan and its provision, right? And so I'll do a quick sharing here again of one of our MSME client, Mr. Ravi Kapoor. He's from Delhi NCR, how we helped them to recover their dues using these provisions. They wanted to go to the civil court route, but when we had told them about this, they were happy and they got some good success. So let's listen to them.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ravi Kapoor, Managing Director of Absolute Security and Facility Management Private Limited. I'm recording this short video to just give a testimonial to services that I utilize of Vinay. Recently, there was a client of ours who was not paying us for almost 2 years. We kept fighting him in the civil court, but with very little results. As soon as I sent the notices under MSME Act, as guided by Vinay and his team, he quickly responded, and within about a month and a half, he quickly came to a table and gave me my about 2.5 lakh rupees that were due to me. I must thank Vinay and his team for doing an amazing job. Most importantly, guiding me towards using MSME rather than running around in the civil court, which could have taken, how long a time. Great job. Best of lucks. I hope you do even better in future. Thanks. Bye.
So I want to understand, if it works for them, it will work for you as well. There's no true reason that why it will not work for you. It is working for thousands of MSMEs, it will work for you as well. I'm getting a few messages again that how we can help you in recovery. So I request my team to again please put the 2 minutes inquiry form and so that we'll be happy to assist you. You can just fill it. Okay. So if you need assistance, you can just fill this 2 minutes inquiry form and team will reach out to you. So we have covered MSME Act, we have key provisions, we have covered MSME Samadhan. And now we'll move to the third secret method, which is insolvency and bankruptcy code. And MSME Act is useful, of course it is. MSME Samana is powerful, of course it is. But I call this provision as super duper powerful, right? Because it's applicable to everybody, whether you're micro, small, medium, distributor, retailer, wholesaler, service provider, whomsoever, it's applicable for all. If you're satisfying the conditions that are given there, right? So what are those conditions? So if your buyer is a corporate and he has not paid you rupees 1 lakh and above, now it is reached to 1 crore post-COVID. So you being the supplier, you became an operational creditor. And you can then send a notice to pay to him within 10 days. Okay. Else, you can file a petition for insolvency of your buyer. So far, so good, Vinayji. How does it help? So, if you have the invoice, which you always have, of this monetary limit, pending amount, and if you have the acceptance of buyer, that means there is no case pending, delivery hui ki nahi hui, aapko dispute to nahi hai. Then you satisfy all these conditions, and then you have given him a notice, and he's still not paid. Then you can just go ahead and file the petition, insolvency petition with NCLT. And NCLT will have no other option but to admit your petition, right? And as soon as they admit it, an RP will be appointed on the board of directors of your buyer or resolution professional. So far, so good, Vinay ji. Paise kaise aayenge? So as soon as a resolution professional is appointed on the board of directors of your buyer, immediately all powers of the board of directors of your buyer are withdrawn. In fact, the board of directors, it stands suspended. They have zero management power. They cannot sign a check. They cannot hire somebody. They cannot fire somebody. They cannot accept a sales order. They cannot issue a purchase order. Nothing. Zero management power. Is the RP who takes care of, takes over the whole management of the company. He then runs in temporarily, makes a resolution scheme, gets the NCLT approval, and have the company sold. And your buyer will lose complete control of his company, no matter how big the company is, right? And that's why these big corporates and PSUs, they take this very, very seriously. So there was this case against the Navratna listed PSU like Bhel, which was not paying one of their vendors around 15 lakh rupees, and he was made to run for pillar to post for 4 to 6 months. When he got to know about this provision, he immediately sent them a notice, and as soon as the notice was sent, he got his money in his bank account within 15 days. Why? Do you think the Navratna listed PSU like Bhel, can they afford to lose control of their company even for one day? Heads will roll. No, right? Do you think can anyone afford to lose control of their company just because they have not paid or you have not paid 1 lakh or 1 crore? Do you think can you afford to lose control of your company? Please type your answer in the chat box. Yes or no? Do you think can anyone or you can afford to lose control of your company? No, right? It's a no-brainer. And that's why I call it super duper powerful. And that's why it works beautifully. So it's only me who's finding it to be super duper powerful, or are you also finding it to be super duper powerful? So please type SD in the chat box. SD in the chat box. If you're also finding it to be super duper powerful. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So but again, my old question, but were you knowing about this? Please type yes or no. If you're knowing, yes. If you're not knowing, no, no problem. No, 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 no. So again, can you see the problem is not delayed payments. The problem is nobody has ever told you this is how you make the recovery, right? And even if you know, you don't know how to exactly implement it. Plus, the limit has been increased from 1 lakh to 1 crore post-COVID. Hopefully, it will come back soon. Despite all of this, the success rate of IBC is again very, very high and encouraging. So this was given by Shri M. Kumar Saab, so first president of NCLT, in an interview in May 2020, where he said that in the interview, after the advent of IBC code in 2016, India's ranking in ease of doing business increased from 142nd to 63rd position. So from 1947 till 2016, Azadi ke baad se 2016 tak, India was ranking at 142nd position all over world in ease of doing business. And in just 4 years after IBC code has come, by 2020, India jumped to 63rd position. 80 steps India jumped. Why? Simple. Investors all over the world, they want to invest in countries which have strong capital protection law. And IB is that law. IBC is that law. And if their capital is protected, then your delayed payments is what? Your capital. That's also protected, right? Then the NPAs of the bank, they went down from 12 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores rupees only in 4 years, halved. Because all the willful defaulters, they start coming in and they start paying in. Why? Because who wants to lose control of their company? That's the power of IBC. So I'll just do this quick sharing of this one, Mr. Vinod Karwaji. He's the co-chairman of PhD Chambers Committee of Commerce. He's also an MSME like you all from the Delhi NCR Faridabad region. How we helped him recovery of their dues using these provisions, Mr. Vinod Karwaji. Because I wanted to show you if this works for them, it will work for you also. There's no two reason.
Mr. Vinay has full knowledge of due recovery procedure for MSME with all the update changes made by government time to time, which is usually not in knowledge of MSME sector. He is doing a phenomenal job by conducting seminars, presentation with different association to update MSME. A great initiative needed by this stressed sector. Would also say that his company VKG Law Office is giving prompt service to their clients at an affordable price.
That was Mr. Vinod Karwaji from Delhi NCR. Is Mr. Ganesh Agarwal. He's from Raipur, Chhattisgarh, Central India. How we help them in recovery of their dues. Mr. Ganesh Agarwal. He's also an MSME business owner.
Hi, Ganesh Kumar Agrawal. Would like to thank Mr. Vinay Jain and complete team of VKJ for assuring the recovery of my debt in such a smooth way. The documentation process was done in very few steps and followed by his team was just outstanding. The process of recovery was done as per their words and it was beyond my expectation. I wish the complete team of VKJ all the very best for the future profession and a special thanks to Mr. Vinay Jain. Thank you.
So I'm again getting few messages how we can help. So again, I request my team to please paste the 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. If you need our assistance, you just need to fill up this form and our team will reach out to you and they'll brief you how we can help you in recovery of your dues. Okay. So we have covered the top 3 secret methods, but now we'll see that how what are those best practices, how to apply them, because it's not the knowledge is important, it's how you apply which is more important, right? And so that you can have results. हमको knowledge की ज्ञानी नहीं बनना है, हमको तो results चाहिए, right? So go back, check all your pending dues for 3 to 5 years and start sending notices as per MSMED Act or IBC code, whichever is applicable to you. If both, then you can send under both. First send IBC code, then send MSME Act. If you're micro small enterprise, immediately आप MSME में file करिए, and chances are कि once you do this, you'll start recovering your dues substantially, right? And your micro small enterprise, you should also change your payment terms to 45 days as per MSME Act, deemed day of acceptance, compound interest clause, MSME concept clause, these सारी clauses को अपने agreements अपने invoices में लाइए. And जो medium enterprise status है जहाँ MSME Act is not applicable, so you look into the provisions of IBC code, start sending demand notices to opposite parties, जो private limited company, LLP, limited companies है, and at LAC. Please make sure that legal notices are sent out bringing out a proper case so that there's no delay in matches which happens, because a lot of times the cases get dismissed because of wrong information or wrong documentation, right? If you want to take a screenshot of it, but we'll provide you with this free bundle of resources as well. But having said that, we have seen that a lot of MSMEs, they face few challenges in implementing these steps, which is like lack of legal knowledge. आज भी आप मेरे साथ हैं तो आप समझ पा रहे हैं how it works, but जब आप खुद करेंगे तो इतना टाइम भी नहीं होता कि तुरंत समझ पाए या कौन सी रेमेडी कहाँ इम्प्लीमेंट होगी उसको निकाल पाए. And you don't have a dedicated legal team, और वो या आपकी टीम के पास वो लीगल स्किल नहीं होती ऑफ कोर्स जिससे वो इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाए. इसलिए बहुत सारे मिस्टेक्स होती है ड्राफ्टिंग फाइलिंग में. एंड दीज मिस्टेक्स आल्सो हैपेंस बिकॉज इट्स टू मच डिपेंडेंस ऑन नॉन लीगल टीम, राइट? लाइक योर अकाउंटेंट्स, सेल्स, मार्केटिंग, इन लोगों पर, which leads to a lot of delay in follow up, and that's why the money recovery gets delayed or denied. And as is justice delayed is justice denied, right? So how many of you you think you face this problem or you will face this problem? Please type P for problem in the chat box if you think you face this or you will face all of these problems or any of these problems. So it's not, thank you so much. It's not with you only, but it's the thing of all the MSMEs of the country. And that's why delayed payment has become one of the biggest pain point of the country today. And the big reason for that is lack of knowledge, lack of resources in due to find, especially with bigger clients. And इसका impact क्या हो रहा है आप पर? daily you have these cash flow and working capital issues, जिसके लिए you are increasing your CC limits and all that. And banks ने भी एक syndicate बना लिया है, वो भी आपकी 90 days के ऊपर रिसीवेबल को आपकी बोरिंग पावर में नहीं कैलकुलेट करते, तो आपको पैसे चाहिए इतने, आपकी वो लिमिट बोलते हैं इतना, तो फिर आपको फिर अपनी सारी फैक्ट्री मॉर्गेज करनी पड़ती है, पर्सनल गारंटी देनी पड़ती है. So a lot of your focus and time is going on unproductive work rather than increasing sales and profit, or health and family life. It also goes for a toss. You don't even count, and the list goes on and on and on, right? So आप में से कितने लोग को लग रहा है कि आपकी स्टोरी चल रही है? Please type me in the chat box if you think, okay, Dr. Anjani Kumar Shastri is also saying I can feel all these problems. बिल्कुल. And ये problem चला आ रहा है. Even RBI has acknowledged it for a very, very long time. They have tried to take measures, but still they have not been able to work on it. But they have said that every MSME is facing somewhere this problem, and there's immediate urgent need something to be done about this, right? So in 2014-15 में कहा था एक प्रेस रिलीज में कि MSME sector faces the problem of delayed payment, mainly dependency on the bias within corporate other sectors, including government departments and undertakings, and they're often unable to take up the problem through appropriate institutions that are fit for the purpose. क्योंकि वो MSME कर ही नहीं पाते, वो रास्ता ही नहीं, पता नहीं कौन करेगा, कैसे करेगा. एंड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं तो फिर 2019 में आरबीआई ने एक एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनाई प्री कोविड कि यार इसका सॉल्यूशन बताओ. उस एक्सपर्ट कमेटी ने बोला कि बायर्स टेंड टू यूज एमएसएमईज इन ऑल्टरनेटिव टू बैंक्स, मतलब आपके बायर्स आपको बैंक की तरह यूज करते हैं, वो आपके पैसे धंधा करते हैं और आप बैंक के पैसे धंधा करते हैं इंटरेस्ट देके. एंड उन्होंने आगे कहा इन ऑर्डर टू डिले पेमेंट्स बायर्स हैव इंसेंटिव्स टू रेज ऑब्जेक्शंस और पॉइंट एज इन सबमिटेड बिल्स, क्रेडिट नोट्स, एडजस्टमेंट नोट्स, और ऑफन यूज्ड टू अवॉइड कैश पेमेंट. पैसा नहीं देंगे, ये सब देंगे. आगे उन्होंने कहा कि despite rigorous provision, MSEs face problems of delayed payments because of low bargaining power, not only from corporate but also from PSU government agencies, which affects your operational efficiency big time, right? And because you don't have knowledge, तो जो MSEs हैं, आप micro small enterprise हैं, वो civil court arbitration में you're spending lakhs of rupees, wasting it. 10 लाख तक की रिकवरी तो 1 लाख मिनिमम आपको एक्सपेंस एंड कोर्ट फीस आता है. 50 लाख का तो 2.5 लाख, 1 करोड़ तक का तो 5 लाख, 2 करोड़ तक का तो 10 लाख, 5 करोड़ तक का तो 20 लाख, 10 करोड़ तक का तो 35 लाख मिनिमम. And it's like throwing good money after bad money, as I said, right? And after COVID, we all know the situation has gone from bad to worse. So ET ka report tha May 21 में 59% MSMEs may shut shop, sell off or scale down. And in December 2021, our Honorable Finance MSME Minister ने ये लोकसभा में दिया है रिटर्न रिप्लाई में कि 9% MSMEs actually got shut down due to COVID-19 disruptions. He further went on to say, as per National Crime Records Bureau, a total of 9,052 business owners committed suicide in 2019, while the number increased to 11,016 in 2020. MSMEs in 9 only, right? That's the extent to which this problem has gone. Just because nobody has told you about the solutions, or because you have not taken any action, because you didn't have the direction, you didn't have that how you can take it and with whom you can take it, right? So I hope you have understood and realized that today's knowledge is useful for you to solve this problem. और आपको अगर ये expertise knowledge मिल जाए, handholding मिल जाए, तो you'll be able to recover your dues. Please type yes in the chat box if you think that these methods, these benefits are useful for you to solve this problem. And if you want to implement it, then the way to go, as I've already mentioned, I'm again getting you messages how we can help you. So there's this 2 minutes inquiry form. You can just fill it, and I request my team to place a 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. You can just fill it, and we'll be very happy to reach out to you and tell you how we can help you in recovery of your dues. So I'll quickly give you a glimpse into infrastructure. How do we work? What are systems? We are we are one of the India's first debt recovery companies who have state-of-the-art project management systems for our debt recovery and GST-related work. So we have all our work is here on the Google Suite because we have team across the country. So everything is stored and saved here, all online, so that there's no disruption in the work. And whenever any of our client they need our assistance, they just have to fill this claim form, which is very simple but very exhaustive. You don't have to travel, you don't have to come to our office, you don't have to send any of your employees to office. You just fill this form. It's a very detailed form, very simple to fill, and as soon as you do it, we'll get all the information which we need in a very summarized and crisp manner in just 2 pages like this. All the documents, all the information, everything will come here, right? And once we get it, the work immediately gets started through our project management system. So the first step of project management systems is this FMS, right? Where a dedicated CRM is appointed for you, and it has been clearly defined what has to be done, who will do it, how will it be done, when it will be done. And the CRM gets the initial documentation accumulated with you, and the matter goes to our OMS systems, from where our operational teams, our expert team takes over. And in the OMS systems, there are more than 80 steps which goes into the life cycle of a matter, right? And again, it's clearly defined here. What has to be done, who will do it, how will it be done, when will it be done. There are clear timelines and description of steps, IBC code, NCLT petition, MSME notice, follow-up hearings, everything, big or small, is covered so that nothing gets missed, right? And we have a dedicated team of CRM, process coordinators, technical executives, who takes care of all these processes. And there's a clear-cut division of labor between our team members, who's going to be doing what at what point of time. So there's no overlap or delay. Then there's a clear-cut job card, which is issued to every person at the start of the day, so that they know that what work has to be done at what time, what is the planning, and with date. And to have a detailed quality control, these are the timesheet formats which they have to fill on daily, weekly basis, so that we know that what is being done at what point of time. And a lot of our clients, they used to tell us that whenever previously they used to go to the companies, they never got any updates on their cases. So for that, we have designed this tracker, which is updated by team on daily basis, on a weekly or monthly basis, the way you want it. You get an automatic update on email and WhatsApp on your case, what's going on, so that at least you know that what's happening and what's the next step, and if somebody's looking at your case, right? And whenever a team comes in the morning, they have this dashboard online generated by the system, that what needs to be done and what matter, because there are hundreds of steps, so that nothing should get missed, right? So it's all prioritized from the system and taken out as per the level of importance. Plus, we have this dedicated component test calculation sheet. So now this component test is the most important aspect by which the settlement happens, because that's the interest which you're liable to receive as per the law passed by Parliament of India. Nobody can deny it, right? But people don't know how to calculate it, because it's as 3 times of the bank notified by RBI. Plus, it changes every 2-3 months. So we have made this compound interest as a software where we have feeded last 10 years interest rate, and all that we have to do is you just have to fill it, and the day and the amount, and you'll get the interest amount. So for example, if suppose you have to recover around 2 crores from one of your clients, right? And you have to recover it with effect from 1st of January 2019. Okay, put that date, and you have to calculate it today, 8th of December 2023. That's it. You put these 3 things, here you get it. Have to your client that 3 crore 80 lakhs is payable to you. What will happen? He'll jump from his seat. I was only supposed to pay 2 crores. How it is going to 3 crore 80 lakhs? And he'll have it checked. There's nothing that he can do about it, because if you're registered MSME, then he's liable to pay you. It's your right to receive this. There's no ifs and doubts. And he'll come running to you and, boss, ye 2 crore pakro, settle karo, close karo. That's how it works. So that's our infrastructure. So using these systems, as I said, we have helped more than 1,000 business owners in recovery. In the past 12 months, we've handled more than 24 recovery cases for approximately 25 crores. Our clients are spread over 22 states in India, and more than 27 different industries. So no matter which industry you are, it's all applicable. And we're processing claims of business dues against defaulting customers across 24 states in India. So I'll do this quick 30 seconds testimonial of one Mr. Salish Panchal, who's a client whom we helped to recover more than 1 crore from one of the leading pharmaceutical listed companies of India. He's from Mumbai and Baroda, and they supply to the leading pharmaceutical companies machineries. Mr. Salish Panchal.
At the outset, I would like to thank the whole VKJ team for making debt recovery system so smooth and seamless. It was well coordinated from VKJ team. The required of documentation was so rightly performed that the recovery was certain at the beginning. I want to give special congratulations to Mr. Jain for his very professional guidance to his team. Normally, debt recovery is very cumbersome and very time-consuming job, but the team VKJ has made it so simple and peaceful. And I would like to recommend other SMEs to contact VKJ team for recovery cases, as you will have assured result in your favor. Thank you.
That was Mr. Salish Panchal. So I'm getting few messages. So that's our infrastructure. That's our facility which we have from where the work happens. So I'm getting few messages how we can help you. So again, there's this 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. Just fill this out and our team will reach out to you and they'll explain the whole process, and if required, they'll fix up a one-on-one meeting. So we'll move to the Q&A session now. I'll answer all the questions which you have received in the Q&A box. So You may also raise your hand if you have any questions, and we'll speak together on that. And okay, so first I'll answer all the questions which you've received in the chat box. So Ajit Kumar ji ka sawal hai, how and where we can file the case against long delayed payment not getting after repeat reminders. I'm based at Calicut, Kerala. Ajit Kumar ji. So I think Ajit ji, I've answered that question. You must have understood it from आप MSME council जो आपकी Calicut में होगा उसमें फाइल कर सकते हैं. And NCLT also. Ashish Chawla ji, I'm from UP, and many of the MSME are not recognizing service sector benefit and delayed payment scheme. We have shared a circular from Ministry of MSME. However, the MSME elected to assist for delete such companies to invest to this matter. No problem, Ashish ji, will be happy to help you. They need to be told. At times, MSME council बनवाशी करते हैं, but it can be done. और अगर वो नहीं करते, तो you can have it challenge in the High Court on the legality, and then they'll get it done. एक High Court order आ जाएगा, तो they'll be forced to do it. Ashish Chalnaji's performance guarantee under Samadhan scheme in cash with the buyer. Will such guarantee also draw interest on delay in release of performance guarantee? Yes, sure. Why not? If it's due, आप debit note करके उसको कर सकते हैं. Rahul Shrivastava ji, what about the service-based company? We have a contract for 1 year, 3 year offer payment clause. Yes, Rahul ji, it's covered. Dipali Goel ji, even after registering the complete MSME Samadhan, still there is no solution received. So it takes time. Dipali ji, I said it needs some patience. It may take 6 months to 2 years time generally, and continuous follow-up is required. And please ensure you also done the physical filing. सुनील जी, so again, मैं आपको कोई जादू की छड़ी नहीं दे रहा हूँ. या आप हमारे पास सर्विस लेने भी आएंगे तो कोई जादू की छड़ी नहीं होगी जो हम घुमाएंगे और आपका पेमेंट आ जाएगा, या आपने खुद फाइल कर आपका पेमेंट आ जाएगा. As I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It may take 6 months, it may take 1.5 years, it may take 2 years also. It all depends on the MSME council. But please understand, it is still much better than the civil courts, जहां पर 5 साल 10 साल लग जाते हैं. You need to understand that, please. Sunil ji, does the 45 days limit apply to export of service as well? How to enforce overseas clients? तो MSME समाधान के FAQ में दिया हुआ है कि it will be again applicable against them also. तो आप उनके अगेंस्ट जाकर वो केस स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. सुनील जी, भागीरथ त्रिवेदी जी, लास्ट ईयर कंपनी MSME बट नाउ कंपनी इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल, सो इन दिस केस व्हाट इज द ऑप्शन फॉर रिकवरी? तो फिर सिविल केस आर्बिट्रेशन करना होगा. भागीरथ जी, व्हाट इज कंसीडर्ड एज डेट ऑफ डिलीवरी ऑफ सर्विसेज? जब आपके पास जो भी प्रूफ है, such as any kind of services, जब भी आपने डिलीवरी की ईमेल के थ्रू भी कर सकते हैं. Does the date of invoice is considered or when actually consultancy was delivered to MSME? Actually when that consultancy was delivered to MSME, so I have an email proof कि डिलीवरी हो गई, और हो सके तो इनवॉइस भी कर दीजिए साथ में. What if you cannot upload the invoice? It's been delayed by not giving PO. आप कर दीजिए ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? आप परफॉर्मेंस उसको बना ही सकते हैं. अभिषेक जी, who do we have to upload this form? MSME समाधान. Dipanvita ji, can we do all these complaint online? If yes, we have to do that. I think I have answered that. MSME समाधान में. Neha Sharma ji, what if MSME does not want to charge interest or delayed payment? Is buyer supposed to pay still mandatory, or customer can make it a provision of that amount in his financials? आपके ऊपर है. आप अगर मतलब it's always mutually, अगर आप मना करते कि मत, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. But by law, you are entitled to receive it. Dipanvita ji, please help with the portal link. We have given that. MSME समाधान. Anuradha Kotle ji, what about the service-based company? I think I've answered that. What if you're unable to upload the invoice? I think I answered that also. Is there a limitation case MSME forget to charge late payment interest? No, कोई 3 साल की होती है normal. Sandeep Sharma ji, what is the documentation to support the supply is not adequate? You just need your invoice, that's it, and contract अगर है तो अच्छी बात है. Shelly Bajaj ji, one of our MSME clients entered into agreement with online portal and payment to our client is made by the portal after product is sold to customer. In this case, it is not possible to get the payment 45 days. As it is 69 days. What can be done in such a situation? Both are executive terms. अगर देखिए आपने अग्री किया है तो इट्स फाइन. अगर आपको पेमेंट आ रहा है तो इट्स फाइन. पर अगर कोई डिले पेमेंट करता है तो या आप उनको बता भी सकते हैं कि देखो 45 डेज में हमको देना ही पड़ेगा. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स पार्टीज अच्छी होती हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, 16 डेज चलता है. अगर आप अग्री कर रहे हैं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Can we surrender the MSME registration? Why not? Neha Sharma ji, does disputed means disputed before the court or law? Mostly yes. Or if someone is dispute on MSME entity product over email letter, will be considered dispute invoice? Yes. अगर वो 15 days के अंदर कर रहे हैं रिटर्न में, तो फिर वो dispute consider होगा. They don't need acceptance. Sukhmeet Singh ji, so how can we show that material was delivered to the client so that they cannot deny on that? Email रखिए, चालान रखिए. दीपाली गोयल जी, even the non MSMEs is applicable on two. हाँ, सामने वाला कौन है उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आप सामने वाले की बात करें, मैं assume कर रहा हूँ. ये फाइलिंग तो आप MSME होंगी तभी हो पाएगी. Dipali Goyal ji, or it is just frowned upon? I didn't understand. Sandeep ji, can you please provide your contact details? Yes, Sandeep ji, if you need our assistance, so please, you can reach out to our team. I request my team, Nikita, to please paste our contact details also, email and number in the chat box, and also the 2 minutes inquiry form. Shamal Modi ji, sir, will this thing work out for export invoice and recovery of funds? Yes, Shamal ji, generally it works. That's what MSME on our website says. So difficult to the export mein, but yes, you can definitely try, and especially add it with the complaint to DGFT and all that. Mahesh Bhanushali ji, we have to receive around 7 lakh from a customer of 18 against some customers, some other supply going to NCL. Also we going to NCL and give claim of basic interest. Now RPN does that not securitors. So go to MSME and consult about securitors. But now this MSME law can't override to NCLT law. Please clarify. तो अगर आपके ऑर्डर आने के पहले उनका आईआरपी अपॉइंट हो गया था और एनसीएलटी में एडमिट हो गई थी उनकी पिटिशन, तो फिर वो सुपरसीड करेगा आपके ऑर्डर को, एमएसएमई काउंसिल के ऑर्डर को। आपका ऑर्डर आईआरपी अपॉइंटमेंट के पहले का होना चाहिए। निमेश जी, व्हाट टू डू इन केस अ क्लाइंट इज अ गवर्नमेंट कंपनी? सेम स्टेप्स, and this works very beautifully for government companies, by the way. Rajesh Munglani ji, we are a proprietary company, we have a ISSI registration, उद्योग updates, are we to register elsewhere to be micros? No, आपके पास उद्योग आधार है तो उसको अपडेट कर लीजिए उद्यम में, you are already registered. Nimesh Shah ji, Mr. Jain, are you attend hearing only documentation filing? We do it all. Hearing, documentation filing, everything is taken care by a team. Generally, it's all online hearings. And MSME Council, they want the clients to be present. तो आप ये अपने किसी authorized representative को भी भेज सकते हैं, just to mark your presence. But we supervise all those steps. Our team supervise all the steps. Abhishek ji, what if a company from overseas haven't paid us? I've answered. I think export में आप you can still file under MSME समाधान. कुछ MSME councils लेते हैं, कुछ नहीं लेते हैं. Dr. Anjali Kumar Srivastava, when is there any rule that MSME company cannot take advance fee or money from client companies? No. Not all fees or money, of course. No. ऐसा कुछ कोई rule नहीं है. Shastra ji. Vinayak ji, if in the Udyam our registration is under trading, what is the best option among the 3 options shared for recovery delayed payments? अगर IBC अगर applicable है तो वो एक option है आपके लिए, नहीं तो फिर civil court arbitration. विनायक गुलाटी जी, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी ट्रेडर्स पार्टनरशिप और पार्टनरशिप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, समझानी मैं आपका सवाल. श्यामल मोदी जी, व्हाट इफ वी डोंट हैव परचेज ऑर्डर एग्रीमेंट? तो एक एफिडेविट दे दीजिए कि नहीं है. राजेश मुंगलानी जी, दैट हैज बीन आंसर्ड. सुष्मिता भानुशाली जी, इफ यू नॉट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देन आल्सो कैन फाइल एमएसएमई, ओनली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. सुष्मिता जी, अगर आप ट्रेडर हैं तो देखिए कैसे आप प्रोसेसिंग वगैरह दिखा के सप्लाई इंस्टॉलेशन दिखा के मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आ सकते हैं. छोटा सा कोई प्रोसेसिंग भी दिखा देंगे तो भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में आ जाएंगे. विच इज द एपेलेट कोड फॉर ऑर्डर अगेंस्ट एमएसएमई? भावना जी, गुड क्वेश्चन. सिविल कोड. Bal Murugan Venkateshan ji, sir, our case is Madras High Court arbitration process after MSME order, but we have availed bank loan now. Bank issued property possession notice. How to stop bank issue arbitration award? I think आपको थोड़ा DRT के कंसल्टेंसी लॉयर से बात करनी पड़ेगी. I have 6 parties not paying less than 1 lakh. Can I file? Yes, sir. Fosh ji, a customer owes me 75,000 plus 2 years. Is it too small to apply for? No. भावना जी, limitation doesn't apply but delay in license apply. What does it mean? मतलब कि कंसिलिएशन प्रोसीडिंग स्टार्ट हो जाएगी और एमएसएमई काउंसिल आपसे पूछ सकता है कि आपको क्यों ज्यादा डिले हुआ. तो आप अगर कोई जेन्युइन आपके पास रीजन होगा कि ये डिले हुआ, कोविड था, ये था, वो था, तो वो अलाउ कर देते हैं. रविचंद्रन जी, वी हैव रिसीव्ड द पेमेंट आफ्टर 1 year एंड द लेट डिलीवरी वाज रिकवर्ड. इज इट पॉसिबल टू क्लेम? यस. राजेश मुंगलानी जी, वी आर रजिस्टर्ड एज अ यूनिट. आई थिंक आई हैव आंसर्ड दैट. Jignesh ji, if person not available on registered address and they are also changed his number, how can we do? How MSME will? तो वो नोटिस भेजेंगे. अगर एड्रेस चेंज हो गया तो फिर there's not much they can do. पेपर पब्लिकेशन भी करा देंगे, पर अगर वो नहीं है तो फिर आप कुछ ज्यादा कर नहीं सकते. सुजाता बाबू जी, सर, we put a case in MSME portal, can it show all MSME customers? No. Rajesh Kumar ji would like to connect. Kindly share contact details. So I request my team to please paste the contact details in the web on the chat box, so that we can people are requesting for it, and also the 2 minutes inquiry form. So with that, I think we have answered all the questions. So I see 2 people have raised their hands, so I don't think Sonia ji, please see if we can unmute people who have raised their hand.
Pulkit ji, I think Pulkit ji needs to ask you something, and can we unmute Pulkit?
Yes, please. And then Dipali Goyal ji, she is also raised her.
Yes, Dipali, you can ask. You are unmute now.
Okay, so while you're asking, so have you found this webinar to be useful? Please type yes in the chat box. Have you found this webinar to be useful? Fantastic.
Ashish ji, please ask your question, Ashish ji.
If you have found the webinar to be useful, can I request you to please give us a 5-star rating on this Trustpilot link? I request my team to please paste the link. There's a link in the chat box. Please give us a 5-star rating in this Trustpilot link. आपको just उस link पे click करना है and give us a 5-star rating and leave your feedback. It'll help us to improvise further. Why? Because ratings का ज़माना है. People believe what they read online, and your ratings will help us and also help the other MSMEs to get this knowledge, so that we can reach out to more and more MSMEs, and it'll help us in our mission of MSME recovery. So please type done when you're done.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, that one of the provisions you mentioned, a company is supposed to file a half-yearly return, but if the buyer is a government department or a trust or any other constitution it has, is it also likely to file a return, half-yearly return under which?
It's only for the private limited companies or public limited companies.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
That's. But they'll have to show it in audited accounts. अगर वो trust भी हैं जो भी हैं तो, अगर उनको audit होता है तो. So thank you so much for giving the 5-star rating here, but I'll request कि आप ये Trustpilot link पे जाकर click करके अगर आप दें. Next, we can unmute. Who's next? Sonia ji?
Prashant Rawal ji.
Prashant ji, you may speak, please. Unmute yourself and speak. Thank you so much, Dipali ji.
Yes, Prashant ji, please ask.
Hello. Yes, madam. I am working in a chartered accountant firm, and there are so many my clients who are facing these issues. This seminar will be very much helpful for me to guide my
Prashant ji,
clients
you are
about
not
these
audible
things.
enough. Can you please come towards the speaker? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Prashant ji.
Hello. Now audible?
Yes,
It's
loud and clear.
okay.
Please
Hello.
बोलिए. Yes, you're audible, loud and clear. Please tell me.
Yes, now I am just working in a chartered accountant firm and handling this banking and loan divisions. And your seminar will be very much helpful for my clients who are facing so much receivable issues. And also I am working for ROC matters also, that you have talked about MSME form. So it will be very much helpful and assisting my clients. And further I will contact you what to do about if some of my clients needs any assistance.
Happy to assist. No problem. Ji. You may reach
I
out.
will email on your support ID.
No
Sure?
problem. Ji. Sure.
We will be in touch. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. दीपाली गोयल जी, अनम्यूट कर दीजिए प्लीज. दीपाली जी, अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं आप? Yes, Ajay Agrawal ji, that's possible. You may please share. You may reach out on this number of our team, and they'll be happy to confirm a date and time. And you may share your number. Our team will be happy to assist, or you can speak with the people, whatever.
Please unmute Dipali.
Dipali ji, you'll have to unmute yourself, please. No problem. While she's
Hello.
unmuting. Yes,
Can you hear me?
Dipanvita ji. Okay, please tell me.
Yes. समाधान पोर्टल पे हमने एक एमएसएमई फाइलिंग किए थे विद आवर इनवॉइस अपलोडेड, बट 2 बार केस रिजेक्ट हुआ ये बोल के कि परचेज ऑर्डर इज नॉट इन प्लेस. तो जब हम इनवॉइस देते हैं, हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देते हैं क्लाइंट के साइड से साइन किया हुआ, तो देन परचेज ऑर्डर और क्या होते हैं
Contract
इन
and purchase
सर्विस
order are the
इंडस्ट्री?
same thing. Contract भी आप अपलोड कर दीजिए इनवॉइस के साथ साथ. They are one and the
हाँ,
same
we
thing.
have done that, but we are into service industry. हमारे पास ऐसे परचेस ऑर्डर नहीं होते हैं. We are into
कोई जरूरत
manpower
नहीं है.
supply
आप
industry.
उसको उस फाइल का नाम परचेज ऑर्डर लिख दीजिए और उसको अपलोड कर दीजिए.
Yeah, I have done that also, but again वो केस रिजेक्ट हो गया.
So file it again with this letter that we are also uploading an invoice in purchase order which is contract dated so and so. ये एक लेटर भी फाइल कर दीजिए.
लेटर ओके.
हाँ, साथ साथ, बिकॉज ये सारे काउंसिल वाले ना बिल्कुल लकीर के फकीर होते हैं. एंड सॉरी टू से बट दैट्स हाउ इट इज. एंड they have been brought in so many cases that they are just looking for reasons to reject these cases technically grounds.
Exactly. Yeah, and twice it happened, so I'm surprised, and then I stopped after listening to your webinar. I thought I should go ahead and do that
You should go
again.
ahead and do it again.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, bye.
Next, Dipali ji is not unmuting, I think. Who's next? Sarfoj ji. Sarfoj, Dipali ji is unable to unmute. Can we allow, please?
हाँ
Dipali
जी,
ji,
सरोज जी आप प्लीज पूछिए सरोज जी. Come.
Yes, I'm Sarosha and from Bangalore, and we are connected to the shoe industry. So we make shoe machine spares for people who are exporting shoes. Now, one of my customers in Ambur, he is not being not paid like around 75,000 only. I say only because it is much smaller than whatever figures that you all are quoting in lakhs and crores. But he's become very indifferent and he is not answering my calls or emails. So do I go after that 75,000 or do I have to forget about it, or what do I do?
That's
in fact, I've just put in this application through an accountant of mine, and then I came across your webinar, so I'm listening to everything. So maybe, do you think I should go for this 75,000 through this?
That's a commercial call. I mean, we have a money recovery course. We can reach out to a team and they'll tell you how to opt for it. That's priced at 25,000 rupees. So it's I think it'll be better for you if you have different cases and cases like these, because it will not be affordable for you to reach out and take anybody's services, because that will be costly. But once you watch that course, so you'll be self-fulfilled and you'll have all the knowledge and processes जो हमने आपको webinar में इसकी details दी थी ना, so you'll be able to do all of these cases on your own if you want. I mean, for these small cases only we have made this course.
I see.
Okay. Dipali ji ko unmute kariye please. She's saying she's not able to unmute herself. Dipali ji, can you unmute yourself now? Sonia ji, can we have people whose questions have been answered? Can their hands be lowered, please?
Okay. See, only those people who really like to ask questions can raise your hands, and rest who's been answered can,
Lower their hands, please. Dipali ji, you may unmute yourself. I think you unmuted yourself now. But again, you got muted.
Karthik, please look into it. Can you unmute?
Bhavna ji,
Okay,
you may speak,
Bhavna ji
please.
is there.
Hello.
हाँ
Yeah.
जी, please.
Good evening. It was a wonderful seminar, and I got really good insight of the act and various provisions. मुझे बस ये एक doubt था. I am an advocate operating from Bombay, and I have put in one application to MSMEFC Kolkata. Hello.
Dipali ji, unmute करिए आप, please. You may speak after Bhavna ji, please. Thank you.
Hello.
हाँ
Yeah.
जी, Bhavna.
So the case is gone into arbitration now, and sir, I just had to ask how much does it take after that, because I have already spent more than 6-7 months in this, the conciliation for the conciliation proceeding itself. Abhi now the case is going to arbitration.
It may
So
take another 1.5 to 2 years at least. You're in Chembur or Thane MSME Council?
No, I am operating from New Bombay, but my matter is in Kolkata MSMEFC.
Okay, so they may take 1.5 to 2 years more, at least. Maybe more, maybe less, because they're going pretty slow. All the MSME councils.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Dipali ji, may unmute yourself now, please. Okay. Next, we have Maitri.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So my question is that, like you mentioned, the MSME Council is taking a lot of time. 5 months ago, we had filed a case, जिसका case ID अभी आया है. But in the meanwhile, we have to pay our suppliers, जो हम नहीं कर पा रहे क्योंकि हमको main client जो है उनसे पैसे नहीं आए हैं बहुत time से. तो is there anything, any kind of indemnity for MSMEs in such cases? Because ये case तो और 1-2 साल चलेगा. तब तक हमें वो दूसरे साइड का खर्चा उठाना पड़ रहा है कोर्ट का.
I know. There's no other option, but that's the only way.
We have to wait it out.
Yeah. The earlier you start, the better it is.
Okay. And another question I have is, can we file cases only and only for interest? अभी मतलब 1-2 साल के बाद उन्होंने हमको पैसा दे दिया.
करके आप कर दीजिए. No problem.
कर सकते. Okay.
Thank you. So Dipali ji, please see if you're able to unmute yourself now. आपने किया था, और Sonal Bapna ji.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, Dipali ji, finally.
Yeah. Hi. Actually, there is one MNC company we are working with, and they have not made the payment from last 1.5 years. So we have placed a complaint around 6 months back, and all this formatting and everything is done. But we are just afraid that they will make some excuse about it, or make some other legal actions towards us. Is that possible? If they will just
They may, but that's also always an afterthought, and that's always an excuse. So courts understand that, and there's a deemed acceptance provision of 15 days. में कोई objection नहीं, तो it's a deemed acceptance.
Yeah, they have not made any excuse even after the complaint. They have completely ignored our mails and follow-ups.
Don't worry, it happens all the time. Should not.
Okay. So it will take normally that the same you have told us the 1 year or 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sonal Bapna ji, please. everybody whose question has been answered, request to please lower your hand, please.
Yeah, sir, I'm working for an MSME, and there's this tricky situation. Uh, the clients who are defaulting, we have a very long, very, very long relationship and very friendly relationship. So, how to deal with such friendly but defaulting clients? I mean, how to draft
So,
notice to them?
I mean, use this as last resort. If you have long relationship, good relationship, और कोई temporary problem है जो आ रहा है तो बात करके उसको try. Don't start legal proceeding, and
Yeah.
gradually.
And since I'm an employee here, I have to hear to my employer, and at the same time, I have to deal with the
I
defaulting parties. So it becomes a very tricky
So
situation
let your
for me.
employer decide. I think he'll be the better person to decide what to do.
Acha, and is there would any assistance in drafting a letter like on a softer notice type or anything if we
We have
can
a
if we
processes. We can help you in that process. Our team can share that with you if you want our assistance. No problem.
okay, thanks.
Okay. Sudhir Pandey ji, please.
हेलो।
हाँ जी पांडे जी बताइए।
हाँ सर, मैं लखनऊ से बोल रहा था। अरुण सॉइल लैब प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, हम लोग सॉइल टेस्टिंग काम करते हैं। मेरा एक केस था छत्तीसगढ़ रेल कॉरपोरेशन से। तो उसमें मैंने एमएसएमई में अपना केस रजिस्टर्ड किया और उसको जो है फाइल करके उसके बाद 1 साल करीबन वहां पे चला। उसके बाद हमको एमएसएमई ने ऑर्डर भी कर दिया और उसके बाद मैंने वो ऑर्डर छत्तीसगढ़ रेल कॉरपोरेशन को भी भेजा, पर वो कोई रिस्पॉन्डिंग में ही नहीं है। और जबकि मुझे ऑर्डर 7/6/2022 में जो है ये ऑर्डर हो गया था।
आप उसमें
अब
सिविल कोर्ट में फाइल कर दीजिए एग्जीक्यूशन एप्लीकेशन।
कमर्शियल कोर्ट में?
हाँ, कमर्शियल कोर्ट या सिविल कोर्ट में, यहाँ पर जहाँ पर जो
हाँ।
उनका शहर है वहां पर उसको एग्जीक्यूशन के लिए लगा दीजिए, तो देन दे विल कम ऑन बोर्ड।
अच्छा सर, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन ये था कि क्या मैं कानपुर लड़ने जाता था लखनऊ से, क्या इसको हम लखनऊ में भी फाइल कर सकते हैं?
अगर लखनऊ में एमएसएमई काउंसिल होगा तो कर सकते थे, बट आई डोंट थिंक कि है।
लखनऊ में एमएसएमई काउंसिल अभी 6 महीने से खुला है।
हाँ, तो तब अभी कर सकते हैं, पहले तो नहीं था, तो पहले नहीं कर सकते थे।
हाँ, सिविल कोर्ट में कर सकते हैं हम इसको।
हाँ हाँ।
ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू।
निमेश शाह जी प्लीज। निमेश शाह जी, म्यूट योरसेल्फ प्लीज।
हेलो।
हाँ जी।
सर, हमारा कंपनी सर्विस इंडस्ट्रीज में है और हमने मध्य प्रदेश जनसंपर्क डिपार्टमेंट को सोशल मीडिया के लिए सर्विस प्रोवाइड किया हुआ है और लास्ट 1 ईयर से हमारे ड्यूज नहीं आ रहे हैं। और हमने जो एमएसएमई में चेंबूर ऑफिस में मुंबई में सारे जो फाइल कर डॉक्यूमेंट्स फाइल किए हुए इन द लास्ट मंथ, तो अभी उसके बाद क्या प्रोसीजर?
नहीं तो बस आपको वेट एंड वॉच करना है। चेंबूर ऑफिस वाले बताएंगे आपको कि कब ऑफलाइन फिजिकल फाइलिंग करनी है, फिर वही हियरिंग देंगे, उनसे फॉलो।
तो क्या पार्टी यहाँ पे मुंबई में आती है फॉर हियरिंग?
हाँ, काउंसिल का नोटिस जाएगा, उनको आना होगा तो आएंगे, नहीं आएंगे तो जो काउंसिल है वो एक्स पार्टी ऑर्डर पास करेगा।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सर।
आशीष चावला जी।
I just wanted to ask that, as we discussed, that half-yearly return thing is there. If the buyer replies in black and white through an RTI application, which I had filed, that they are not liable to file any MSME filings annually or half-yearly, and they have given, how can we use this against them?
Also, they're not, as I said, it's only private public companies who have to file it, but they have to show in their audited accounts under Section 22.
Yes, so they are through an RTI application, they have replied that we are not liable to file and make any, in annual accounts also, they will not declare any MSME dues or MSME pending
Then you
dues.
file complaint against them and their auditors. You send a notice to the auditors that you are supposed to do it. Why are you not doing it?
Right, I'll do that.
Thank you. Bhagirath Trivedi ji. Nimesh ji, if you can please lower your hand if your question is answered.
No, sir, I don't have any question now.
Thank you.
All
Radhesham Zinka ji.
हेलो सर।
हाँ जी।
हाँ, मैंने मेरा भिवंडी में टेक्सटाइल का बिजनेस है, तो मैंने नोएडा के एक पार्टी को माल दिया था, कपड़ा, ग्रे कपड़ा, लेकिन उसने 12 लाख का पेमेंट दबा लिया आज 2016 से। तो मैंने भारत मर्चेंट चैम्बर में केस किया, उसके बाद वो रेफर हुआ हाई कोर्ट में, हाई कोर्ट से एग्जीक्यूशन का ऑर्डर आ गया। हेलो।
हाँ जी।
हाँ, उसके बाद वो पार्टी तो जो ऑफिस है वो बंद करके भाग गई, उसका पता नहीं चल रहा है वो कहाँ है क्या है। तो
देयर इज नॉट
एग्जीक्यूशन,
मच इट कैन बी डन, वो तो कोर्ट ही ढूंढेगी, और कोर्ट भी नहीं ढूंढ पा रही तो फिर आप और हम कैसे ढूंढेंगे?
वही बात है।
लगे
क्या
रहिए,
किया जाए, क्या
लगे रहिए।
करें इसके लिए?
नॉट मच, एज आई सेड, कोर्ट नहीं ढूंढ पाएगी तो आप और हम कैसे ढूंढेंगे उसको?
कोर्ट।
ओके, आशीष चावला जी। निमेश जी, you may lower your hand please if the question is answered. Rajesh Munglani ji.
Anji, see, I have a transaction with an organization worth about 7.5 lakhs. It happened in September 2015. I am a registered SSI unit as well as an MSME unit from July 2015, 2 months before I did the transaction with this client. Now, they have not replied to our legal notices. Is 2015 too long ago, or can we apply again under the MSME Samadhan
Too
scheme?
long ago. It will be very difficult for you to get.
Is that so?
You may still try, but it will be very difficult.
Okay.
Thank you. So I think Nimesh ji, आपका तो सवाल आंसर हो गया है, I think. So with that, I think we've answered all the questions. So I request my team to please paste the free money recovery resources link. In this link, you'll get, as we promised. Sorry. I see that we've got few more questions. So Maitri ji का सवाल है, cases for bills before MSE accepted? No. We have to pay. I think we have spoken. Deepak Mehrotra ji, we have a trading concern, a large amount due with. So MSME is not applicable, but Deepak ji, you can see for IBC if it is applicable for you. Okay. My question is, if any minimum amount criteria for MSMED Act to file a case? Anjani Kumar Srivastav ji, no. Sujata Babuji, sir, already we filed a case. Again, we case through MSME. No, you cannot. इधर आप अगर सिविल कोर्ट गए तो फिर MSME नहीं जा सकते. Okay. So will the informers of physical is what? Yes, Shamal, they'll inform you. Physical findings is required. So I think with that, we have answered all the questions that we have received. So thank you so much for attending this webinar and making it a huge success. I hope you have found it to be useful. Thank you, Dimitra team. Thank you, Nikita from my team for all the help and support. So if you need our assistance, then here's the 2 minutes inquiry form. If you want to some similar videos, money recovery tips, free money recovery videos, and similar presentation, then you can also join our YouTube channel. The link is there in the chat box. So with that, thank you so much, and I hope to see you all soon. Over to you, Sonia ji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would personally, from entire team and the participants who had been lucky enough to hear you today, and I'm sure it's going to really make a lot of difference. Because with all your patience and composure, you have made a point that to answer each one of their queries and questions, you attended to them like really personal. So I think today is their day, and whatever obstacles they were facing, and I'm sure you are also lending them hand to get that resolved. So this really means a lot. I think very powerful session we had today. We all got to learn so much from you. Thank you so much for being there, for being such a wonderful host for us.
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much, everyone. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.